Good afternoon, Tartans. I was worried you were not going to reply there for a moment. I am Jennifer McCurry. I prefer she, her pronouns, and I am CMU's Coordinator of Religious and Spiritual Life. I am so glad to be with you here today as you near the end of your week of being woven together. In ancient Egypt, weaving began a long time ago, around 3500 BCE. Ancient Egyptians harvested flax to make the cloth, linen, on great vertical looms. As with many other cultures and communities, weaving was essential for life. Weavers made everyday clothing, special attire, and even wrappings for the dead. The fabric was made with vision and artistry, sometimes depicting scenes from daily life or sharing what seemed most meaningful about it. At times, that included the Greek god Dionysus or stories from the Hebrew Bible. Between 2400 and 2100 BCE, Egyptian texts start mentioning Tate, the goddess of weaving. She imbued this fundamental practice with a sense of great sacredness. Her weaving and the woven items that she blessed were understood as enchanted. The community believed that they offered the wearer or user an extra sense of protection, delight, or honor. For the dead, such blessed items promise to help graciously escort the individual into the afterlife. The ancient Egyptian tradition invites us to consider our own lives through its worldview, that we, our relationships, and our work together are being formed into something sacred and impactful, though we have varied ways of understanding and articulating what that is. This week, as we have learned about this community and one another, the powerful weaving of our Tartan community has begun. That relational weaving, which we've talked about, is a complicated thing, includes all of ourselves, engaging where we've come from, how we understand ourselves now, and the many facets of our identities. It connects us to one another through our academic hopes, our passions, our houses, athletic teams, and colleges. It stretches into the future, which we cannot quite see, with all that we will learn, become, and accomplish. This tartan fabric will accompany us through countless unremarkable days, seasons of growth and challenge, and moments of great joy and delight. We are glad that you are here. Because of each of you, our CMU tartan will be a different gift for our campus and for the world. I pray that this year, this community, and this place will indeed be a blessing. Amen. May it be so.
Okay.
Thank you, Reverend McCurry. Good afternoon, class of 2028 plus, and welcome to Convocation 2024. My name is Elizabeth Sapanta, and I am one of this year's 8 head orientation counselors. It is my honor to welcome you to Carnegie Mellon alongside university and college leadership, faculty, staff, and other members of the Carnegie Mellon community. A few days ago, we introduced the theme of this year's orientation, Woven Together. One thing I particularly love about this theme is how it encapsulates many aspects of what it means to be a tartan. Being a tartan means finding a common thread, maybe even one that connects an international relations and political science student to the engineers, chemists, and dramaturg she calls family, or the computer scientists and entrepreneurs she calls friends. Our tartan plaid highlights our individuality, but emphasizes our commonality. It weaves together the pieces of our time while at college, our academics, extracurriculars, campus involvement, and relationships. Let me be honest, our Carnegie Mellon education affords us unique opportunities you will not find anywhere else. It allows us to collaborate across disciplines and fields of study. It encourages us to innovate, create, and explore. Only here can we be students by day and athletes, booth builders, buggy drivers, fashion designers, or performers by night. I am so excited for each and every one of you to learn both inside and outside of the classroom. Today's convocation ceremony celebrates the formal beginning of your academic careers here at CMU. During today's program, you will hear from Carnegie Mellon leaders who are eager to share their experience, advice, and encouragement with all of you. The first of these speakers is Jim Garrett, Carnegie Mellon's Provost and Chief Academic Officer. Prior to his appointment to this role in 2019, he served as a member of the CMU faculty for over 20 years before becoming Dean of the College of Engineering in 2013. Provost Garrett is a lifelong tartan, having received his bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees in civil and environmental engineering from CMU. Among his many recognitions and awards, Provost Garrett was elected to the National Academy of Construction, is a fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, and is a distinguished member of the American Society of Civil Engineers. Please join me in welcoming Provost Garrett to the podium.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for that kind introduction. And I think there are 2 very proud parents in your audience here today. I want to give a big thank you to Elizabeth and the other head orientation counselors for creating such an engaging experience for our first-year students. Let's give these folks a big round of applause. It is my sincere pleasure to join President Johanian, our deans, and the university leadership in welcoming you to the Carnegie Mellon University community. Each year, I get excited for Orientation Week because you can feel the energy of a new academic year beginning. I hope you are enjoying the excitement of the first few days on campus as you begin this new chapter in your lives. Of course, at one point or another, we all experience some anxiety and uncertainty about new beginnings. But at this moment, as I consider the multitude of diverse backgrounds and talents represented in your class, I am confident that each of you has an extremely bright future. As Elizabeth said, I myself received 3 degrees from Carnegie Mellon. I left Pittsburgh for a few years, but eventually came back in 1990 and never left. I had and still have such a deep respect for the unique culture here at CMU, for the people, for the academic rigor, the collegiality, and for the unlimited research and creative opportunities that our students have. Carnegie Mellon has unquestionably influenced my life in ways that would not have happened at other universities, and for that I am grateful. And you surely have your own reasons that brought you here to Carnegie Mellon. Maybe you were drawn to this campus for our excellent fine arts programs. Or maybe it was the opportunity to learn from the world's most brilliant designers, scientists, engineers, and thought leaders in the humanities, social sciences, policy, and business. The bottom line is that most of you chose CMU precisely for its outstanding academic reputation. You expect us to deliver an exceptional education, and we promise each and every one of you that we will deliver. Every year at Convocation, it is our tradition for the Provost, me, to quote our benefactor, Andrew Carnegie, when he established what we now know as Carnegie Mellon University. Our university's story began on November 15th, 1900, and by the way, I'm not in that picture. Began in 1900 when Carnegie wrote to the mayor of Pittsburgh announcing his wish to establish a technical school. He wrote, "If the city of Pittsburgh can furnish a site, I shall be delighted to furnish money for a school. There are many questions to decide involving investigation, careful study, and much labor, but I am in a position to assure you that my heart is in the work." With that letter, this university began, and the phrase, "my heart is in the work," became our motto. And I am confident that this phrase will come to resonate in different ways for each of you. In 1905, the inaugural class enrolled 120 students. Most attended part-time in the evenings after work, with more than 90% hailing from Pittsburgh. Now, over a century later, your class looks a little different. And I'm pleased to celebrate the diversity of this incoming class. For example, this year, CMU has over 1,800 first-year students, hailing from 47 states and 43 countries. 20% of you are joining us from international locations, and 9% of your classmates are first-generation college students. Our global, intellectually diverse community has a deep tradition of excellence in education, research, creativity, and scholarship. Today, you join our community, and we are a better university because you are here. We're committed to your success, and we will work hard to make sure you have an inclusive, supportive, and excellent experience here. As you start your journey, I encourage you to immerse yourself in the culture and activities CMU has to offer. We have a hands-on approach to learning, and your active participation will lead you to success both in and out of the classroom. Reach out to your professors. Tap into the knowledge of your academic advisors. Take advantage of the resources right here on campus, like the Student Academic Success Center. They are all here to help you learn at your highest capacity. And please take a chance to get to know me too. Consider this your formal invitation to join me at my open office hours so that we can talk about how things are going for you. I also love to hear your ideas and your aspirations. Keep an eye out for an upcoming issue of The Piper, our community-wide weekly publication, for more information. I look forward to seeing you on campus and in the classroom as we get this year started. And I wish you all an amazing first year here at Carnegie Mellon University. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce the president of the Undergraduate Student Senate, Francesca Kane. Francesca is a junior hailing from Morgantown, West Virginia, and is studying both electrical and computer engineering and biomedical engineering. Please join me in welcoming Francesca to the stage.
Thank you, Provost Garrett. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Carnegie Mellon. I hope you've had a great orientation week so far and are also taking some time to wind down and relax in between all the fun activities you're up to. I wear quite a few different hats here on campus through my involvement with the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department and fraternity and sorority community, but I'm here today as your undergraduate Student Senate President. I'm not sure if this was a particularly niche interest of mine, but in elementary and middle school, I had a slight obsession with those Choose Your Own Adventure books. In case you have no idea what I'm referring to, they were these books where you were the main protagonist and would go on all sorts of adventures. Flip to page 50 if you want to explore the mysterious glowing cave. Turn to 63 if you'd rather continue on the trail. The outcome depends on the choices you make throughout the book, so there's several different endings. The more I think about it, though, the more I find my time at Carnegie Mellon has reflected a Choose Your Own Adventure book. Part of the beauty of coming to CMU is that everyone is so unique. Some of you might be coming down the street in Bloomfield, others from Boston, and others from Bangkok. As Provost Garrett mentioned, I'm from Morgantown, West Virginia, which is a college town in a fairly small, pretty insular state. After all, we are surrounded by mountains. Most of my friends went to West Virginia University, a huge state institution about 5 minutes away from my high school. I think this shaped my expectations of college life in a way that, unlike most of my peers here today, experienced. To say the culture there is vastly different from CMU would be an understatement. But in choosing my own adventure, I decided to get more involved on campus to try to find a community that felt like home. And honestly, it took a lot of trial and error. This is the part of the Choose Your Own Adventure book where you decide to dive in the ocean, end up getting eaten by a shark, so you decide to flip back and take the pirate ship instead. I played lacrosse and swam competitively in high school, so I decided I would try to combine the two and play water polo at CMU. That lasted for all of about a month. I wanted to join a sorority, but given the intensity of my courses, I opted to take a break from the recruitment process. I even switched my primary major from chemical engineering to electrical and computer engineering and felt more lost than ever. However, repeatedly flipping back and forth throughout my Choose Your Own Adventure book helped me figure out what I actually wanted from my collegiate experience. While I did not initially join a sorority, I did join one later in my first semester. 2 years later, my sorority experience has introduced me to some of my very best friends, and I now serve as the vice president of recruitment programming for the entire Pan-Hellenic sorority community. Even though I changed my major, I became involved in research on campus and social and professional groups within my department. I think you'll find that some of what you sign up for the very first month of school might just be a phase. For me, water polo. But some of it will stick. I joined the undergraduate student senate the second week of school. I'm still close with one of my first ever CMU friends, who is now an orientation leader this year, Cooper, who I met from living on the same dorm floor, and now we even work together in fraternity and sorority leadership. I still love my additional major in biomedical engineering, and I still always get the peanut butter and jelly croissant from La Prima anytime it's available. Many of you are far away from home for the first time ever. My main advice is that college is about more than just academic growth. It's a time for personal growth as well. Now is the time to explore your interests, both in and out of the classroom, and to seize any opportunity that comes your way, even if it ends up being just a short passage throughout your collegiate story. It's easy at times to think that every single experience you have needs to be resume-worthy or posted as a LinkedIn status update. Don't be afraid to meander and take the indirect path. As I'm sure you've all heard by now, my heart is in the work is CMU's motto, but I want to be clear. Don't mistake this, and don't allow anyone to convince you that this means my heart is in staying up all night doing homework and studying until I want to tear my hair out. Work here can mean any number of things. Maybe you find yourself working toward community outreach and mentorship. Maybe you find yourself working on trying to send a rover to the moon. Maybe you find yourself working on writing and directing your own play, building a gigantic booth during carnival, or honing your bagpiping skills. Yes, it's a major here. And let me be the first to tell you that some days your heart being in the work will mean sleeping in, eating platefuls of pancakes at Pamela's, and catching up on Love Island. Your heart being in the work means working on who you'll be for the rest of your adult life, navigating friendships and relationships, family and professional dynamics, learning to be a good steward of your community, and even learning how to cook dinner and not shrink your laundry. You're in no rush. Yes, you have your 4 or 5 years here, but this is just the beginning of your story. Take the time to explore and give yourself the chance to excel in ways you never imagined. Allow yourself to pick your own adventure. That's what CMU is all about. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite Elizabeth back to the podium.
Thank you, Francesca and Provost Garrett. As students, we are honored to have your leadership this year. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our faculty speaker, Dr. Danny Oppenheimer. He is a jointly appointed professor in psychology and decision sciences who studies judgment, decision-making, metacognition, learning, and how the use of technology changes how people think. He applies his findings to a diverse array of domains such as charitable giving, consumer behavior, education, and electoral outcomes. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Danny Oppenheimer to the podium.
Hello, everyone. It's so great to see the faces of former students of mine who are out there, and yes, of course. But even more exciting, no offense to those former students, to get to know the class of 2028. I'm so excited to join you today. You're about to embark on this exciting journey of growth and learning and discovery, and you are in for an amazing ride. Let me see what I can do in the next 7 minutes to make that an even better ride. We're going to start with a simple question. Why are you here? Why did you decide to spend tens of thousands of dollars and 4 years of your life with us at Carnegie Mellon? I mean, you could have spent that money traveling around the world. You could have gone to the best restaurants. You could have gotten a lifetime supply of chocolate. And you chose this. What did you hope to get out of that? Well, some of you are here by default. Going to college is just what one does after they finish high school. You may have no idea why you're here or no sense of your goals. And it's hard to make the most of an experience when you don't know what you want out of it. Some of you are here for a piece of paper, a degree from a top university that'll open the door to a desirable career. Good news for you, you're going to get one. Now that that's resolved, you may have no idea what you want beyond that. So you're sort of in the same boat as that first group. But knowing what you want out of college is important because the model has changed from what you're used to. Remember the old days when your parents and teachers hounded you to turn in your homework? Well, that's over. Here, if you don't chase your dreams, they'll just quietly walk away while you binge watch Netflix. In high school, it's the job of your teachers and parents to make sure you learn. But here, it is your job to make sure you learn. The university's job is to give you access to all the resources you'll need to do that. In college, you're expected to take ownership over your education, be proactive, take responsibility for your learning. College will give you millions of opportunities, more than you could possibly take advantage of in multiple lifetimes. But it's up to you to choose among them and embrace the opportunities. And to do that, you need to figure out what it is you want your college experience to be. So let me give you my perspective. When you move into a new house, you want to make it nice. You don't just throw a mattress on the floor and call it a day. You want to furnish it and decorate it and personalize it and make it a place you actually want to spend time. Well, your mind is like a house, and you're going to be living there for the rest of your life. You want it to make it the best that it can be, and college is your opportunity to do that. So with that in mind, here are 7 tips on how to do it successfully. You'll have heard some of these already because they're common and correct themes. 1, college gives you the opportunity to explore. Take advantage of that. Take classes on topics that are outside of your wheelhouse. CMU has classes in things like the chemistry of chocolate, killer robots, confessions, lies, and gossip, beer, a yeast's perspective, and so many more. There are so many interesting classes you can take. Take a gambit and take a few outside of your comfort zone. And don't forget, there's much more to life than academics. If all or even most of your growth here in college is in your classes, then you're doing something wrong. Go to shows and recitals, join clubs, try new hobbies, meet people who you'd otherwise never meet, people who think very different from you. College is an all-you-can-eat buffet. Try a little of everything and see what dishes you like. 2, get to know your peers. College is where I met most of my very closest friends. There aren't many places where you're going to have access to so many smart, interesting, engaging people as the people who are surrounding you right this moment. The conversation I've had with students and the conversation I had with friends outside of my classes are some of the most transformative I've ever had. Make time for that. It's easy these days with Zoom and social media and access to your old high school friends in your pocket 24/7 to fall back on your old social networks rather than to seek out new friends. And don't fall for that. Of course you want to maintain your old relationships, but actively make new ones as well. They're going to be a source of meaning and joy for you for the rest of your life. 3, get to know the faculty. Every faculty member here is here because they are at the very cutting edge of human knowledge. These are the world's foremost experts on their research specialties, the sorts of people you won't run into every day once you graduate. So take advantage of the access to them while you're here. 4, get to know the staff. There's an entire network of people here whose primary goal is to help you thrive. Take advantage of that by seeking them out and getting the support you need. 5, don't be afraid to fail. College is the perfect time to try new things and fail spectacularly. Like the time I tried to learn to belly dance, or the time I went through zero gravity training at NASA, which in retrospect was a pretty terrible idea with someone who gets as motion sick as I do. I may have regretted those at the time, but hindsight, they make for great stories. And more importantly, it was that same mindset that led me to be willing to take risks that went badly, that also let me take risks that allowed me to find skills and passions I might never otherwise have unearthed. Sometimes when you try new things, you're going to fail. But if you don't try new things, you'll never reach your potential. If you're not failing some of the time, you're not taking on sufficiently difficult challenges. If you never fail, then you're failing. 6, don't just tolerate dissent, actively seek it. You have beliefs, some of which you hold as core values, and because you hold those values so dear, there's the natural temptation to dismiss arguments that disagree with you or punish those who disagree with you. That's a mistake. Here's why. There's a possibility you're wrong, even for core beliefs you hold with absolute certainty. As much as we don't like to admit it, we have incomplete knowledge and fallible memory and are subject to a wide array of biases. The history of humanities is a series of very smart people being very confident in ideas that are very wrong. It turns out that for many issues, you're going to be encountering other smart, thoughtful, well-intentioned people who disagree with you. And at least one of you will be wrong. Sometimes both of you will be. Sometimes it will be you. If we want a truer, more accurate, and more moral set of beliefs, the only way to get there is by being willing to engage with those who disagree with us, even on things that we hold as core values and core assumptions. Of course, there's also the possibility that you're right. But even then, you should be trying to engage with those who disagree with you. If you're right, you shouldn't fear having your beliefs challenged, because the evidence will ultimately support you. Indeed, you may be able to help the person who disagrees with you come to a truer understanding of the world. And wouldn't that be nice? Beyond that, if you're not subjecting your beliefs to constant scrutiny, you run the risk of not being able to defend those beliefs when they are challenged. And I guarantee you that someday in your life, they will be. As J.S. Mill once beautifully put it, if your ideas are not fully, frequently, and fearlessly discussed, they will be held as a dead dogma, not a living truth. There's, of course, also the possibility, the most likely possibility of all, that you are partly correct and partly wrong. The world is dynamic and stochastic and complicated. For most issues of great disagreement, there's truth to be had on both sides, which is why the disagreements haven't been resolved. It's through constructive dialogue that we achieve a more nuanced understanding of the world, and that is what you're here in college to do. Finally, 7, last and most important, don't view your time here in college as just a hoop to jump through to get a piece of paper called a diploma. It's not about the grades. In the grand scheme of things, the grades you get in college matter a lot less than you think they will. They're mostly a signpost to give you a sense of how well you're mastering the material. College is about learning and growing as much as you can. If you embrace that mindset, you'll get the most out of your experience here. It would be disingenuous of me to tell you the next 4 years will be easy. There will be times of stress and confusion and heartache and self-doubt and loneliness and, yes, even a 3 a.m. meltdown where you question every life decision you've ever made. But here's the secret. It's all part of the adventure. It's an inevitable part of life and an inevitable part of growth. And trust me, I would give almost anything to be in your shoes right now, just starting on the path you're about to take. College is an amazing experience, and I envy you. Welcome, class of 2028. I can't wait to get to know you and watch you grow over the next 4 years. And now I'd like to welcome Elizabeth back to the stage.
Thank you, Dr. Oppenheimer, for your advice and encouragement. Earlier, Provost Garrett mentioned that Carnegie Mellon opened its doors in 1905 with a charter class of 120 students. When that class graduated in 1908, a bronze floor tile was placed in the entryway of Baker Hall to commemorate their accomplishments. Following that tradition, a tile is added to the floor every year to honor the most recent graduating class. Each year, we award the class tile to 2 first-year students who have been exceptional participants throughout the first-year orientation program. Now, I am pleased to present your class tile to you, the class of 2028+. Alexander Worth. Alexander is in the College of Engineering and a resident in Donner House. He was nominated for his engagement with his floor and other first-year students, whether sitting with a student who is alone at lunch, participating in small group, or rallying people to go to events. Donner staff describes him as the first year they wish they knew during their orientation experience. Hagen Xian. Hagen is in the Mellon College of Science and a resident in Mudge House. He was nominated for his enthusiasm throughout the orientation program, taking initiative to build community within his floor and his house. His orientation counselors and leaders describe him as an inspiring and positive example of the good that can come from not taking yourself too seriously. Will Alexander and Hagen please join me on stage? This tile will be passed through each of the colleges during your time here, weaving together all of your individual CMU experiences. By the time you reach commencement, this tile will carry the memories of the entire class of 2028+ and bear witness to the impact you have made on the Carnegie Mellon community. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce President Farnam Jahanian, a nationally recognized computer scientist, entrepreneur, public servant, and higher education leader. Dr. Jahanian has had a huge impact here at Carnegie Mellon, especially for his passionate engagement of students and dedication to improving their experience on campus. He and his wife, Tris, are also proud parents of a CMU alumna. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Farnam Jahanian.
You did great. Well, first of all, thank you, Elizabeth, for that introduction, and also thanks to you and your fellow head orientation counselors for all of your hard work and leadership this week. Let's hear it for that. I would also like to thank all of our fabulous speakers, of course, Reverend McCurry, our Student Senate President, our wonderful Provost. I'm grateful, Jim, for all that you do for our CMU and our community. And a special thanks to our keynote speaker, Professor Danny Oppenheimer, who just inspired us with his words. Listen to everything he said. You should put that on a website. Really. We'll follow it. It's really good. I'm still trying to reconcile the belly dancing comment you made, but we won't go there. So now, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the class of 2028. A few days ago, I met you with your parents, and I had a question for you, so I have a follow-up question for you. Are you still excited to be here? Much better. I have another question for you. Are you glad your parents and family members finally left town? By the way, this is being live streamed, so welcome to all the parents who are watching this. Let me take this opportunity to welcome the members of our university leadership team who are here with me on this stage, including our deans, associate deans, vice provosts, and vice presidents. Really glad to have them all on this stage. I also want to thank the members of the CMU admissions department, which is led by our vice provost for enrollment management and dean of admission, Chris Wong Davis. Chris and her team did an amazing job of reviewing nearly 34,000 applications this year. In fact, they are the reason you're all here today. Chris, will you stand to be recognized? Finally, I would like to thank everyone who made Orientation Week such a success, including our wonderful Gina Castellino, our Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students, and her entire team. Let's hear it for Gina and the team. You know, the success of Orientation Week depends on the relentless enthusiasm and dedication of so many people. This year, hundreds of students, volunteers, staff, and faculty assisted with over 250 orientation events. And 157 resident assistants, community advisors, and house fellows are helping you settle into your new homes across 12 first-year house communities. These teams have one job, and it's still underway. They are here to welcome you to CMU and help you thrive during your earliest days on campus. This crew, which includes 156 orientation leaders and orientation counselors, have cheered you on over the last week, as well as 8 outstanding head orientation counselors who deserve a turn in the spotlight. Counselors, I'm going to call your name and I'm going to ask you to stand to be recognized. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Nick Firestone, Maggie Mohouse, Voss, and McGill. Mia Goins, Fifth Avenue neighborhood. Matthew Howe, Stever House. Charlie Heimowitz, Morwood E Tower. Eleanor Eakes, Donner House. Will Rifkin, Mudge House. Sharuti Srinivasan, Morwood Gardens. And of course, Elizabeth Zapanta, who is our MC today, Welsh Henderson Escobo. Once again, let's hear it for all of them. I don't know where I'm from. But last but not least, I would like to acknowledge the members of our Activity Board Technical Committee. This team of students, led by Heidi Tao and Tucker Shea, have provided technical support for all of the orientation programming in the tent this week. Let's hear it for them. Once again, please join me in giving all of these leaders, organizers, and volunteers a round of applause. Over the last several days, you have already begun to absorb the CMU culture and learn the rhythm of our campus life. And of course, you've started to hear bagpipes. That's usually a clue that something special or ceremonial is about to happen. And today, of course, is no different. Today is the official start of your college experience. The next several years will undoubtedly be some of the most transformative of your lives. You will form lifelong friendships, as Danny mentioned, grow in innumerable ways, and discover passions that ignite your academic and professional careers. CMU will change you, and you will change CMU. As I mentioned during my welcome address on Sunday, you have arrived at Carnegie Mellon at a pivotal time. The future is constantly evolving, driven by rapid advances in digital technologies, including generative AI, and access to unprecedented amounts of data. And it's not just technology that's changing. As new innovation and ideas percolate across our society, we're increasingly relying on the boldness of visual arts, music, and theater to process where we have come from and to envision where we're going. It's truly amazing to think about what the future will bring. It's an exciting time to be a student and to have the world and all of its opportunities right at your fingertips. Now, as you prepare to make your mark, I want you to keep in mind that Carnegie Mellon is more than academics. We all bear responsibility for ensuring that this university is welcoming and that we treat each other with dignity and respect. In a world that seems increasingly divided, particularly during the current election season, our community can embrace free speech while also using our differences to build bridges of openness and understanding. As Danny mentioned, when we consider perspectives outside of our own and engage in meaningful civil discourse, we all win. Freedom of speech is not only foundational to our democracy, it's also a central tenet of higher education. The good news is that CMU faculty, staff, and students have never shied away from engaging in complex issues. In fact, we have a history of leaning into our differences and using them to drive important, deeper conversations. And if we get this right, CMU can even serve as a model for the rest of the world. Now, class of 2022, 28 plus. In just a few moments, I will formally present you to your deans and officially start your CMU journey. This is a big moment. So let's take a second to appreciate where you are and the journey you're about to embark on. Look around. Savor the sights and sounds. In fact, I encourage you to do this throughout your college career. You've probably heard this by now. College goes by so fast. So every once in a while, stop and remind yourself that you're exactly where you want to be. This is a wondrous time of your life. And you have earned this rare opportunity to extend your horizons alongside of some of the most gifted scholars on the planet. So once again, congratulations and welcome to Carnegie Mellon. Now here comes the fun part. I would like to ask the incoming students to stand if you're able when I announce your school or college so that I may present you to your dean and your school and college leadership. Okay, you got to pay attention. Will the students from the College of Engineering please rise if you're able, along with the dean and college leadership? Provost Garrett, we're going to be here for a while, I think. All right. Dean Sanders and college leaders, I present to you the engineering class of 2028. Congratulations. Please be seated. Will the students from the College of Fine Arts please rise if you're able, along with the dean and college leadership? Dean Poole and college leaders, I present to you the CFA class of 2028 and 2029 for architecture. Congratulations. Please be seated. Will the students from the Bachelor of Humanities and Arts program, Bachelor of Science and Arts program, Bachelor of Computer Science and Arts, and the Bachelor of Engineering Studies and Arts please rise if you're able, along with their deans and college and school leadership? Here we go. Dean Poole, Dean Shyness, Dean Meyer, Dean Marshall-Bear, Dean Sanders, and leaders of the College of Fine Arts, Dietrich College of Humanities and Social Sciences, Mellon College of Science, the School of Computer Science, and the College of Engineering, I present to you the BHA, BSA, BCSA, BESA class of 2028. Congratulations. Please be seated. All right. Where were we? Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. Will the students from the Dietrich College of Humanities and Social Sciences Dean Shyness and college leaders, I present to you the Dietrich College of Humanities and Social Sciences, class of 2028. Congratulations. Please be seated. Will the students from the Information Systems program in the Dietrich and Heinz colleges please rise if you're able, along with the deans and college leadership? Dean Krishnan, Dean Shyness, and college leaders, I present to you the Information Systems class of 2028. Congratulations. Please be seated. Will the students from the Mellon College of Science please rise if you're able, along with the college leadership and the dean? Dean Meyer and college leaders, I present to you the MCS class of 2028. Congratulations. Please be seated. Will the students from the School of Computer Science please rise if you're able, along with dean and school leadership? Marshal Oliver, and school leaders, I present to you the SCS class of 2028. Congratulations. Please be seated. And last but not least, will the students from the Tepper School of Business please rise? Dean Baju and school leaders, I present to you the Tepper School of Business class of 2028. Congratulations, please seat it. Now, please join me. Once again, all of our new students across all of our outstanding programs, please rise. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you. Please sit down. As you can see, there are plenty of people to get to know in the coming weeks and months. And to help you with this, if you run into me, Provost Garrett, your deans, or members of our faculty somewhere on campus, outside the classroom, of course, I hope that you'll stop and you introduce yourself. We're so excited to meet you. And we're so excited to see the mark that you will make on our campus community and on the world. So once again, members of the class of 2028, congratulations and welcome to CMU. I'm going to turn it back over to Elizabeth to close out the program. All yours.
Hello. Thank you, President Jahanian. Class of 2028 plus, your years in college will have its ups and its downs. There may be a few knots you have to untangle or times where you aren't really sure if it looks the way you expected. But there are also times when you see the beauty of the whole plaid made up of thousands of individual threads. Though you may diverge in your identities, perspectives, interests, and passions, remember that we are all part of making Carnegie Mellon exceptional. I would like to extend my thanks to President Jahanian, Provost Garrett, Dr. Oppenheimer, Francesca, Reverend McCurry, deans, faculty, staff, friends, and everyone who made this program possible. Thank you, Class of 2028 Plus, for your participation today and throughout orientation. I look forward to experiencing these last few days of orientation with you and wish you the best as you embark on your CMU journey. As our program comes to an end, members of the CMU Pipes and Drums will perform recessional music. We ask that you stand if you are able and remain in place until they depart the tent. Thank you again, Class of 2028 Plus. I can't wait to see you around campus, and good luck this year.
Wrap up that.
Oh.